Hi guys, it's Gareth here from Horsemanship. To do my video a little bit differently, I've been planning a video for about a month on this topic, but rain, hectic wind has made it very difficult to film and get some good audio. So the topic we're talking about today is collection and the belief that people have that riding without collection is damaging to a horse. Now, that is either true or false depending on your definition of collection. If people think of collection as self-carriage, then 100% they're correct that riding without self-carriage does put strain on a horse's back. If the horse's legs aren't directly underneath the midline, they carry the rider's weight either on the forehand or starting to carry the rider's weight on the middle of the back. However, self-carriage does not mean contact. So when people see us riding with loose reins and they assume that we're doing the horse some kind of damage because we're riding with a loose rein, that is not true. Because there are other ways to get a horse engaging other than riding with a loose rein. Any dressage rider worth his salt will tell you that engagement or self-carriage can be attained through transitions. But there are also a few other exercises you can do to really get the horse stepping under themselves and carrying themselves on their hind end, which will not be damaging to the spine. Now, the other definition of collection does relate to contact, and that is shortening a horse's stride. Now, you can shorten a horse's stride without firm contact. It's your body position changes, your contact, how long you have the reins change, but it's not a pulling situation. Now, the reason I don't like to ride with firm contact the whole time is that it causes dullness of the horse, first of all. But that's probably not the most crucial aspect. The crucial aspect is actually safety. When you look at the number of horses that buck and carry on, it becomes clear that maybe there's something wrong in the horse world. And a lot of that has to do with pulling back on two reins. I never pick up on two reins when a horse is moving, or pick up firmly on two reins when a horse is moving forward, particularly not to try and stop them. Now, the reason for that is just physics. If I have, this is my horse, there's a horse's head, there's a horse's butt, and this horse is a runaway, and I pick up on two reins, what I cause is that. It's pure physics. The first law of thermodynamics is energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. So that energy of that horse going forward cannot be destroyed. It's got to go somewhere, it's be transformed into something. So when you pick up on two reins, it's transformed into a buck. That's why we have so many people getting hurt in conventional riding, because people, my horse is a runaway, and they grab on two reins and that energy is converted into a buck or sometimes a rear. Now, even if you hadn't developed a proper one rein stop where you get the horse listen to your seat first, then come down and then pick up on one rein, and if they still don't listen, bend them all the way around, even if you just, horse has never learned it before, is running away, and you pick up on one rein, that energy is converted into a sharp turn. Now, a sharp turn, if you're riding an English saddle, you might still slide off the horse. But you got a lot more chance of staying on the horse, and if you do fall, it's better than going off over the horse's head. So I'm going to go through, I've just filmed a little bit this afternoon without the audio of me riding a young horse and showing you some of the tools we use to get engagement in the horse. other than the transitions, which is pretty self-explanatory. And I do want to start showing a little of what we do when we start picking up a collection, we start shortening that stride. This horse is still very young, so I don't ask him to carry a contact for very long. But you can actually see the building blocks of it. Right, so once I've done my anti-flight checks, which is just my one rein stop, my hindquarters engagement and a backup all the way through, I work on getting the horse going forward and then doing some rollovers. Now, rollover is not a rollback, it's a hindquarters engagement into a forequarter turn. The aim here is that by disengaging the hindquarter and then doing the forequarter turn, you put the horse's hind legs underneath him. So when we talk about self-carriage, that's exactly what we're looking for. And you can see Cherokee, once he walks out of the rollover, his hind legs step all the way under the halfway point, and he's carrying himself properly, so he's not walking with his legs behind him. Now we might also do some backups and get his hindquarters engaged again. The other advantage of the rollover is it causes relaxation in a horse. So every time a horse gets a little bothered, I will disengage him. Right, I've got Cherokee moving out there on a loose rein, completely loose, and he is stepping well. Now every time that I feel that he's not stepping underneath himself and not carrying himself, I will pick up and do a rollover or do a transition. In this video I've just worked on the rollovers because it's something that might be different to what you know. Transitions are pretty self-explanatory. I do keep alternating between them in my general riding, but just for the sake of this video I just did the rollover. There we go, he started leaving his legs behind, so roll them over and trot him out. Okay, so he's moving pretty nicely there. Happy with that. The other time I might pick up and go a little sideways or do a rollovers if he's nosing out and he doesn't have correct bend. So I don't have to hold him in the correct bend the whole time. I would only correct him if he goes off, goes out of the circle, either falls out or falls in. Okay, again, this is, you can see the rein there is very loose. I ideally want to keep him on the circle with just my legs. Now I spoke about in the intro, I spoke a little bit about getting a horse getting dull because of riding on contact. I like to talk about a concept, you know, the urban legend about the boiling frog. If you have a frog and you put it in boiling water, it'll hop out. If you take a frog and put it in lukewarm water and boil it, raise the temperature slowly, the frog will boil to death. And that's kind of the concept that why I want to work on a loose rein, so that there's a bigger dynamic when you actually pick up your rein. So when you're riding around a loose rein, there's no information going through to the horse's nose or mouth, and the minute you touch it, there's a massive difference. If you constantly got contact, you have to pick up much harder for the horse to feel any difference, because otherwise they just get numb to it. There we go, Cherokee's stepping really nicely underneath himself there. And there you go, you see how well they listen to your seat and your legs when you're not pulling on their face the whole time. Doing some lock and loads, which is basically trot or canter departs, back him up, and then I have him go forward at a trot. And there I rolled him back and had him forward at a trot. All of these things will get a horse more engaged if they start losing momentum. Taking up to a canter. He kind of got confused then, thought I wanted to jump the feed bin. Make the circle a little smaller. See, even at a canter, that rein is loose. I'll pick up on the inside rein if I need to correct him on the circle, if he doesn't listen to leg. And I stop and I sit down and he'll respond and back up off my seat and legs. Now if you always go to your reins first and you've got them on a short rein, your seat's not going to make as big a difference. Okay, now I'm going to pick up contact for a little while. As I said in the intro, Cherokee hasn't done much contact work. I've only just started introducing him to working on collection. And because he's so young, we've just started, I don't pick up and do 10 circles in collection. I will pick up and get 3 or 4 steps and I'm going to back to a loose rein. My aim is to give a release when he's doing the right thing when I've got the contact. So the contact comes on. Missed opportunity to release there, but I'm going to get the next time. All I want is that minute the nose comes down and he rounds, I'll give him a release. There we go. Now you'll see that my rein is still not extremely tight. It's just at the minute he gives me that roundness, I'll get back to a slight smile in those reins. Picked up the rein again. His head comes down and I'll give him his head. Now this builds, obviously right now you're not going to go ride a dressage test or anything where you need nice round shape with only 2 or 3 strides at a time, but most of my session is done with a loose rein. Even once I get to the point where Cherokee's holding that soft feel for longer, I will still only ask for it for about 15 minutes out of every hour I work with him to stop him getting dull. Great guys, if you have any more questions, just drop us a message and check out some of the other videos on the YouTube channel and subscribe. Cheers.